Hello everyone. In today's update we're going to take a look at some of the vehicles in Bullet Bros and talk about their basic controls and functionality. Now I'm just going to dive right in since there's a lot to cover. So I'm just going to jump over here and get in the little three-wheel buggy that you've probably seen. And the first thing is we can jump with the A button. And we're shooting with X. And you'll notice that the actual shot has an impulse, as with most vehicles in Bullet Bros. So it gets kind of wild if you just hold the trigger down. But it also you can use to right yourself in the air if it looks like you're going to tip over one direction or another, like so. Now here I'm upside down. I can use the shooting to get kind of tumble over. So as you can see, when you're in a vehicle, you're pretty overpowered, and it's almost like an invincibility star from Mario or something. You're just crushing through, just wreaking havoc. But the balance here is you can't pick up any cash or any weapons or upgrades on the ground, so you have to hop out of your car, and then you're in a vulnerable situation. And that's a big deal because to get all the upgrades and utility items in the game, you need a lot of cash. I've also recently added damage states and black smoke when your HP gets a little low on the car, so you have you can take 5 or 10 more hits before it explodes, so it's a little bit of a gamble how far you want to push it. And there we go. Now let's check out the little helicopter that you've also seen in the previous videos. Now you just hold A to fly around and you see your little link chain kind of swings, but you can also use your shooting to kind of tumble or do backflips in the air, which helps you chop up enemies. Down the road you'll get cash bonuses for the extravagant kills and everything, so similar to achievements, at the end of each level it'll tally up all your crazy kills, kind of giving you some incentive to play creatively. Now this is the first stage of your kind of linkability, but you can also get grappling hooks installed on your vehicles later on, and that's another thing you'd want to upgrade. With the chopper, your rotor also has its own HP, so if you're too careless, that'll pop off and you're just kind of left to drive around and tumble. Next we have this sort of hover platform where you control each gun on the right and left side independently, so it's a real kind of balancing act trying to get this thing flying steady. And the main function here is if you have larger vehicles that you want to link to the top, you can kind of transport them, things that might be too heavy for a little helicopter to lift. And you can also see the flames burn people and destroy buildings as well. You can also lob down grenades while you're in here and kind of bomb the surroundings. It's really squirrely. I'm still working on the controls to get this thing a little more stable, but it's already fun, and it adds quite a bit of variety, so I think it'll be a useful addition. Next we have this little hamster ball type of car with 4 wheels, and it kind of just tumbles, so it's a lot easier to control and get around. But you can see with the 4 guns, they're kind of at fixed angles, and you're kind of at the mercy of just whichever way they're aiming, so you have a little less control there. I think the overall hit points will be lower with this, so as you're driving around, your health is more tied to your wheels. If you start losing wheels, you have less mobility, and then you're just kind of this pile of junk rolling around without much functionality. Then we have the tri-wheel helicopter, which is kind of an extension of the hamster ball car. If you swap out the top and add a rotor instead. Now you'll see this moves much better on the ground than the previous helicopter, but again you have a little disadvantage on your aiming, not very precise, so if you're trying to hit a real specific point on a boss, it would be harder to line up. Now here's the first iteration of some of the catapults I've been working on. We can take this giant boulder and try to blast it over here and yank on it with our grappling hook and jump in the cockpit, and I'm going to set the fling timer. Now I can go and grapple to the rock, and it'll fling us across pretty much the whole map and just smash things along the way. Now this thing is I'm still experimenting with it. It's more of just to have fun and see what's possible. Here, let's try the actual car and jump out and see if we can grapple onto that. And let's hop in and just keep driving. It's casual, no problem at all. So that's kind of wacky. Here is the mobile one. So if you're playing co-op, one person can be in the front driving this monstrosity around and lining things up. and the other person could be in the back operating the catapult. And if you just hold left and right on the D-pad, you can manually move it forward and back. So I'm going to try to get the car up here and detach it. A little bit glitchy still, but this part was fun, just trying to swing and grapple away from this. I could see these catapults being pretty fun in little mini games, or almost like an Angry Birds style mission. This is, you might have seen in the previous update, but this one's really crazy. Last but not least, we have the QWOP Walker, which is an homage to the awesome web game QWOP, where you control the runner's legs. Now you actually can get in and control each of these mech's legs with the triggers, so the timing of it gets pretty interesting, and you can just kind of smash and step on people here. But I've also recently added damage to the legs, which makes it pretty hilarious when your legs start getting blown off and you still have to figure out how to keep your balance. It's definitely needs some work. This has been one of the more difficult things to figure out how to implement. I like this little duck walk here. All right, now he's just about stomped out there. Well, thanks for checking out the new update, and please continue to help spread the word. Definitely need a lot of help. We're into our final week and still have a long ways to go. I'm finishing up a playable build now that I'll be sending off to some of the Let's Play community, and hopefully that'll drum up some last-second interest. Take care and keep a lookout for our next update.